Load came out in 1996, and it was a risk both in the way they looked and the way they sounded.
Just like the curse, just like the stray.
The people that expected Black Album 2 were shocked, disappointed, and distraught. It was the new Metallica.
Sort of like we have short hair now, and we kind of dress like we work at funeral homes, and we drink martinis, but now we play songs that are kind of bluesy.
I kind of wish I was like really close friends hanging out, like, dude, love everything, but listen, you don't need the eyeliner.
You know, we got arrested by the heavy metal police. Pull over, you know, you're not metal anymore, look at you.
It seemed to really affect people, and I really don't know why.
At that time, that felt right. And nobody's gonna sit down and tell me what Metallica's about or how it's supposed to be.
We were in the studio working on a track for Mission Impossible 2, and all of a sudden we found out that it was available on Napster.
We got online and checked it out and started to see the volume of songs that were being traded and started to realize that this is something that's beyond our control.
We controlled Metallica. So it was these let's go after them.
I'm Kurt Loder with MTV News. Napster, the controversial music swapping website, got a very special delivery on Wednesday when Metallica drummer Lars Ulrich showed up at the company's headquarters in San Mateo, California.
On April 14th, Metallica filed a lawsuit against Napster for basically encouraging people to steal and trade our music.
Suing Napster from a publicity standpoint was probably the biggest misstep in Metallica's career.
I think it's about the most unhip thing that I've ever seen a big rock star do.
How much money does Metallica already have? Do they really need more money?
I used to like Metallica a lot, but the fact that they're doing this, I'm really upset about it.
All of a sudden, we were just like anti-music fan because we were anti-Napster.
You know, we were the bad guys. We were these greedy rock stars. People branded us that.
Lars, for all the flack he took in the beginning, he was right. Sure enough, it has become a big problem. But at the time, they certainly were public enemy number one.
It was just one more thing that was kind of looking bad for Metallica at the time.
By the summer of 2000, there was a lot of tension within the band between the three guys and Jason.
Calm down. I'm trying to. Are you stressed out? Just a little bit.
It kind of felt like it built up over the last 14 years. Really, ever since he came in the band, he was always battling for position.
There was some stuff that wasn't dealt with when Cliff passed away that made Jason definitely the outsider.
Jason wasn't getting a lot of his music in Metallica, and so he wanted to do side projects.
Echo Brain was actually one of the projects that I had ongoing, and we started getting kind of serious, and we started playing more and more together.
James saw it as a betrayal. He just freaked out.
Man, that was such a sore subject, and, you know, I dragged Lars into it saying, hey, we can't let Jason go off and do this stuff.
Echo Brain's music was so different than Metallica's music. I couldn't fathom how it would change the fan base of Metallica in any negative way.
We were on separate pages, I mean, completely separate ideas on what was going on.
So we called a band meeting. We all got together in this hotel room, and Jason just dropped the bomb right off the bat.
I mean, I asked James straight up, dude, you can't be in a band with me if I do Echo Brain, right? He says yes. I said, then I have to go. I am leaving the band.
I don't think you can properly weigh the magnitude that his departure had on Metallica. And when he left, it shook them to the core.
He left the band, period. He left the band. Jeez.
But one good thing came out of that. That was when we hooked up with Phil Toll.
The more we feel good about ourselves and each other, and the higher we ascend, the more challenging it will be.
Phil is a performance enhancement coach that we thought could be of some help to Metallica.
I don't want to end up like Jason, okay? I don't want to be pushed away.
We were all off in our own little childish worlds, so we needed that help. We're here, and the camera's here, and my friend the Boom is here.
You want me to play the music?
Yeah.
band was going into the studio for the first time in 5 years, and Bruce Sinofsky and I were hired by the record company to do maybe 5 minutes of promo footage. And as soon as we arrived, the hit the fan, and they're having therapy.
To me, it's not going to be a matter of whether the cameras are in play, but whether or not you guys are free enough to risk being seen by other people.
Metallica to keep the cameras rolling, and whatever it becomes, it becomes.
You're just sitting here being a complete
I was straight up with you, and I told you I'm in a mood, and what have you been doing? Picking at me all night.
Well, these guys had all this buried tension that they hadn't talked about for 20 years, and they just started boiling over.
All we want to do is pick a fight, and
I don't want to pick a fight.
Come on, guys. We got better things to do.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Metallica frontman James Hetfield has entered a rehabilitation facility to undergo treatment for alcoholism and other undisclosed addictions.
My behavior on the road showed up at home, and my wife put an end to it. She said, "You're not a good influence on our children, and you're certainly not the person I'd like to be around." And she threw me out of the house. There was no other choice than to check in somewhere.
When James told me that he was going off to rehab, the first thing I thought was, well, I'm not surprised. I mean, it was only a matter of time before any one of us checked into rehab.
James went away in June of 2001 and said that I'll be back in 5 weeks.
Which turned into 8 more weeks, which turned into a few more months, which, you know, turned into a few more months.
It was a bit of a sandwich, though. What is it? The unraveling of a band? And then there were 2.
I was just left wondering, you know, what's going on? Do we even have a band?
I'm prepared for the worst.
Coming up, Metallica faces extinction.
I didn't even know if I was going to be in the band anymore.
We started thinking, well, is he ever going to, like, figure it out?
Next on When Metallica Ruled the World.
During the entire period where James was in rehab, Metallica looked like it was falling apart.
The longer James chooses to stay away from dealing with us, the further we drift apart. He was away for months and months and months. Even by the time he came back to San Francisco, he was still doing his own thing.
I had to step up and take care of myself. My life was filled with other things, connecting with family again, trying to save my marriage, seeing my kids. I didn't even know if I was going to be in the band anymore.
We started thinking, well, is he ever going to, like, figure it out?
It took a lot of thinking. What's going on in my head now? Where am I at? What do I need in my life? A lot of stuff.
Eventually, he did tell us that he was ready.
Anyway, here we are.
Play a riff.
Probably the best sound I've ever heard in my life was the fact that you were playing guitar in here. It was just great to have him there, to know that it's not going to end.
Having the support from band, it was just amazing. It was like being born again.
We really had to go through all those bad, dark times to get back to the good times.
The big machine started rolling again, and they kind of swung back into Metallica world.
The album Saint Anger made a lot of sense. It spoke so much of my heart and of everyone else's heart in the band.
Who's in charge of my head today? Dancing devils and angels away.
We've proven that you can make aggressive music without negative energy.
Enough's enough!